Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, and today we're going to be going through Google Gemini Deep Research. This is by far one of the most impressive tools that we've gotten. Google, in my opinion, is winning the AI game so far. It is coming up daily with really impressive updates, and the update that they give to Deep Research, and if you don't know, Deep Research is where you can give the AI a query, you can give it a topic to go and research, and then it's going to take some time, go through the internet, and then come up with a report. So this one was previously only in OpenAI's ChatGPT, but it rolled on to Perplexity AI, which also had the same feature, but theirs is a bit faster. I'm going to do a video on that later on. And then Google released theirs, and it is free compared to ChatGPT's version, which you're gonna have to pay. It's on the paid tier, but this one is free, and you're going to find it in the Gemini website. So where we are right now, this is Google Gemini. So just go to gemini.google.com. Once you're there, you're going to have Gemini on the top left. So you can click on that, and then this is where you can choose the different models that we have. So we have Gemini 2.0 Flash, and we have Gemini 2.0 Flash Thinking, Experimental, Deep Research, and Personalization. They just updated to 2.5 Flash, but that one you're going to find it in Google AI Studio. So in today's video, I'm mostly going to focus on Deep Research. So we're just going to click on Deep Research, click on that. And then here, as you can see here at the very bottom, we also have Deep Research in where we're going to input our prompt. And I'm just going to go through kind of like some use cases for Deep Research, give you an understanding of what it is and how you can use it. Deep Research, like I said, is a tool. It's kind of like you having your own AI assistant. It's going to analyze your query, and then it's going to generate a structured multi-step plan that you can actually see and edit. And then after that, it's going to autonomously search and analyze dozens or hundreds of online sources, articles, newspapers, videos. And then after that, it's going to use its reasoning model to understand, find the patterns, and then connect the dots, and then synthesize the findings into a comprehensive report. And it's really detailed. It's by far the best one that I use for my research, and I just want to show you how you can use it. So some of the key features and benefits of using Gemini's Deep Research is the fact that you can edit the research plan before it starts. So when you input the query, you can edit it. And then the other thing is that the reports that are going to be generated are going to be incredibly in detail, insightful, and usually they cover a lot of things. And then at the very end, it does have the citations and the source links from where it has gotten the data from. And then the really good thing, because it is Google Gemini, it's going to be tied in with the Google Workspace. So you will be able to export the reports using Google Docs, or you can copy paste it. And it will also be able to produce a podcast using Notebook LM. So that's really fun. So the other thing is that the really cool thing is that you're going to be able to show the thinking process. You're going to be able to show the sites that have been browsed. Like I said, right now, Google Gemini is free. You are going to get around 5 Deep Research reports per month. I believe it's a bit more than that. It can be up to like 10, give or take, depending on how big or how much you are doing the research. When you pay for the advanced version, you're going to get way more than that. So I'm going to come up with practical use cases so that it can give you an idea on how this is going to work. I have a couple of prompts for me in different places. So for example, I have different use cases. This one I have for if you have a business and you want to do some market research. So the first prompt is going to be analyze the competitive landscape for an eco-friendly cleaning product targeting young urban professionals, include any key players, market share estimates, recent innovations, and consumer sentiment. So I'm just going to copy this prompt. So in this one, the prompt that I'm going to use in our first example is going to be identify emerging trends in the remote work software market for the next 3 to 5 years, focusing on potential opportunities and challenges. So once you have input your prompt there, and then make sure that you have selected the Deep Research button, the model there, you're going to click enter. So it's going to go through the prompt, come up with a detailed plan. So this is the plan that it has. And like I said, the really good thing with this one compared to the other deep researches that we have, deep researches, I don't know if you can say that, is in this one, you can actually edit the plan. So I'm going to click on that, edit plan, and then it's going to give me the plan, and I can see where I need to do any edits. So this is the entire plan. So edit the research plan, let me see. So identify the emerging trends. Okay, cool. So I've edited, I've looked at the plan. I think it is good. So I've just been like, yeah, it's good. So right now it's going to go through different sources from the internet, and after that it's going to come up with a research analysis. You can click on show thinking, which is on the top right. Click on that and show thinking or site browsed. So right now you can see the thinking process that it is currently going through, and you can also see the sites that it is going through. So for example, here we can see that it is going through Slashtop, which is a remote work website. We have a couple of other websites there as well. And then Market Growth Insights, I found that the remote work software is experiencing significant expansion. And then key growth drivers. This is really good because you can catch where it may go wrong according to where you think it's not really doing right, and then you can pause it, and then you can tell it this is something that I needed to shift. Okay, we are done. It's already finished, and we can see this is the report that it has come up with. So emerging trends in the remote work software market, opportunities and challenges for the next 3 to 5 years. So we have the exact summary, and it's a very long summary, to be honest, and it's very detailed. We can see here, and then at the very bottom we have the sources. There we are. So we have the sources in the report, which you can close or can open up them, and there we are. Sources read but not used in the report, gives you that. And then thoughts, which I feel like this is a thinking process that it had. So you still get the thinking process that it went through even after it has already submitted the report for you. So this is a thinking process, and then we have now the report here. So the really cool thing, like I was saying, is that with this one we can export to docs. So it's click on here, you can export to docs, and then what happens, because it is going to be integrated, it is already integrated in the Google Workspace, you're going to have that report as a Google Docs. And here it is, really beautifully written. Even has like tables there, which is so good. Google is really winning when it comes to the AI space. And then you also get your sources there as well. So I find that really, really exciting. Another really cool thing that I like when it comes to deep research with Google is the fact that you can now generate an audio overview, which is like what we get with Notebook LM. So when you come to the top right after Google Docs, there's an arrow there. Click on it. You have the option to copy contents. If you do not necessarily want to get this as a Google Docs, you can copy your contents and then you can paste it somewhere. Or you can generate an audio overview. So what that is going to do is that it's going to go through the sources, it's going to go through the report that it has just generated, and then give you an audio overview similar to what we get with Notebook LM. So that's very helpful. It's something that you can listen to if you're on the run, something that you can listen to if you're doing the dishes. If you don't necessarily have the time to go through the research itself, you can listen to it in audio version. Hands down, is by far one of the most impressive updates that we've gotten with Gemini Deep Research. And like I said, this is free. So it's always good to just like try it out at least once or twice. So as that is going, as it is generating that, I'm just going to come and click on a new one here. Okay. And then I'm going to select a new model. And I just want to show you one of the things that is going to be really helpful. The way to think about when it comes to deep research and just prompting is if you give it a vague question. So for example, if you ask it, do a research on AI in healthcare, it's not necessarily going to give you a very good report because it's a very vague prompt. So when you give it a vague prompt, you're going to get a very vague report as well. So one of the things to maximizing your research is to make sure that the prompt that you're feeding it is as detailed as possible. And you may not really know how to do that. And the best way that I've found is really helpful is to use AI to generate a prompt. So for example, I'm going to come to Flash Thinking Experimental, and I'm going to ask it to give me a prompt in AI in healthcare. But I'm going to be a bit way more specific, and then it's going to come up with a better prompt that I can now feed to Google Gemini Deep Research. So hey, I want a prompt that I can use with. Okay, so for example here, I want a prompt that I can use with Gemini Deep Research to give me a report on AI in healthcare. I want to know if we are closer to getting a cure for cancer and how AI is going to help accelerate that process. So once I've just clicked on the model that I want. This is something that you can do with ChatGPT, something that you can do with Claude AI. I really like Claude. I feel like you should definitely try it with Claude. Something you can do with the model that you use for thinking, and after that, it's going to give you a prompt that now you can come and use with deep research. So I'm just going to click enter there, and then it's going to think. And here is a prompt. So we have, you can see my prompt was very basic, but now the prompt that now we've gotten is generate a comprehensive report on the current state of artificial intelligence in healthcare, with a particular focus on its role in cancer research and treatment. So specifically address the following questions. How close are we finding a universal cure for cancer? And what are the major challenges that remain? In what ways is AI being utilized in cancer research? So this now is what I'm going to copy like that, and then come here, click on new chart. Once clicked on new chart, I'm going to choose the model deep research and then paste that there. Once you have that, click enter. Again, it's going to come up with a summary of what it wants to do, and then you can edit it, or you can just click start research. And again, it's going to do the same thing, go through very many sources from online, videos, reports, sites, and come up with a detailed report at the very end. So as that is going on, we are going to look at ways of maximizing our prompting. Like I said, we have to be very specific when it comes to prompts. So you can't really, necessarily use something like AI in healthcare. You have to be very specific on giving it as detailed of a prompt as possible. It's always good to tell it what you want and the outcome that you're looking for. So always have that in mind. It's very good to define information types. So for example, factual data, expert opinions, trends, comparison. So tell Gemini what you want. And after that, review and edit the plan. It is a very crucial step. And if there's something that you do not really understand, you can always ask follow-up questions to get a better understanding of that idea. So comparing Gemini's deep research with something like Perplexity is way faster. It comes up with answers, or you can generate a report way faster compared to Gemini. Gemini can take 5 to 15 minutes. Perplexity does that in under 3 to 2 minutes max, which is okay, but it's not as detailed compared to Gemini's. So I definitely lean heavy on Google Gemini. And then comparing that to OpenAI's deep research, OpenAI is good, but it's not free. So like with deep research, especially for just someone who doesn't necessarily use it as heavily, I use it heavily to kind of do research on my videos. But for the normal person, you might be doing 5 to 10 researches a month, which is okay. It's going to fit within your budget there. So, and it's free. So I find that that's really helpful. But when it comes to OpenAI's deep research, you are going to fork $200 a month. So I feel like I lean heavily on Gemini's deep research. So some of the limitations, like we said, you're going to get around 5 to 10 reports a month. And then there's obviously potential for hallucinations. This is something that you're going to get with every other AI. So it's always good to double check the information that you're getting, double check the sites or where they got that information from. And that's really the beauty with deep research right now, is the fact that it does give you the sources, so you get to look at where it got its information from, and you also get to see the thinking process. So that's really important. You get to know how it came up to the answer that it has come up to. So going back to our research, we already have it here. So this is executive summary, a very complex summary, to be honest, and I may not necessarily have time to go through this. Oh, this is good. So I'm just going to click on that arrow, and I'm going to generate an audio overview, and it's going to more or less give me a summary of this audio of this cancer research report right here, and I can listen to this when I'm doing something else. Yeah, so that's it for this video. I hope that it is helpful. I really do appreciate you guys for watching. I hope that you're learning something. I'm having fun, tons of fun learning these different AIs. AIs, is that like a plural? Is that plural for AIs, AI systems? So I'm learning a lot, and I hope that you are learning a lot. Yeah, and I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.